And St. Joe will play a football game, but this rivalry is about so much more than football. It is about two schools that share the same faith and the same passion for success. And on the fabled Father Bly Field, they will have the 57th renewal of the Holy War, and it's next on 46. The color of the sky depends on what school you support. Is it Marian blue or Columbia blue? And the colors will be worn tonight for this 57th renewal of the Holy War as Marian and St. Joe collide in a big-time NIC clash here on 46. How you doing, everybody? Between the Hall of Famers, Bob Nagel and Bo Hunt, it's Chuck Freeby, and it's great to have you with us for what looms to be an exciting night of football here on TV 46. The Marian Knights are ranked 5th in Class 3A. They are 2-0 on the year, and boy, Bob, under new coach Mike Davidson, their defense has been lights out.
It really has been, and the nice thing about the way the defense has been playing is the offense has been able to score enough points to win in comfortable fashion for 2 games. They haven't played the competition St. Joe's had, but John Brock's doing a great job at tailback now. He was a quarterback last year. Mitchell Nagy's exciting to watch. Can't wait to see him play here tonight. But I think a guy like Zach Whitfield could be really special. He's playing offensive guard and linebacker, big-time player. They've got a couple other guys who can pick and maybe take it for 6. Could be a special teams play, could be a kicker, makes all the difference. Michael Davidson, Dad played in this game. His uncle played in this game. He played in this game, and now he's coaching.
St. Joe's got a great program. They've been working hard. Obviously, it shows with their record, what they've been able to do against some quality opponents. For us, it's a year-round thing. It's, baseball, basketball, football season. The guys are always talking about it. So our guys have been ready for it. They've had a great week of practice, so I'm looking forward to kickoff.
They have been rebuilding the program here at St. Joe under Brian Whitney. Only won 2 games his first year, won 5 and went to the sectional final last year. And they have started 2-0 this year and look as good as any team in the area right now.
And when you look at St. Joe, you almost like it's a mirror image of Marian. Excellent quarterback in Ashton Roskowski. Excellent running back. They've got excellent play on the defense. They've got a nice secondary, and they've gotten a nice job from Stone, Connery, and also getting some good help from Leonard back there in the secondary. So this is a team that's got balance on both sides, just like Marian. They have an excellent kicker. And again, is somebody going to get a pick? Somebody get a fumble? It's looking for a hero tonight.
And they need one because it's been a while since they've beaten the Knights. Nobody knows that more than Brian Whitten.
Well, it's always weighing on our minds. It's weighing on, the school's mind, alumni, all the way across the board. But our real focus is just making sure that we execute today. If we execute, we like how the outcome will be.
Bo Hunt working the sidelines again tonight. Marian refers to it as the streak, 4 in a row. St. Joe would just as soon not refer to it, and it's something that really sticks in the craw of the Indians. How much does that factor weigh into this game tonight?
I think it weighs huge into the factor of this game. Brian just talked about it. It's not just about the players on the field. It's about the students in the classrooms walking the hallways. Hey, it's been 4 years. Hey, we haven't won one. It's the alumni, it's the dads at home sitting there, hey, you got to win this tonight. It's the uncles, whatever it is. It weighs a lot on these kids, and it weighs a lot on each of these communities.
They'll pray together before the game, they'll pray together after, and they'll try to pray on one another during the game. That's what makes it special. Marian and St. Joe, the Jordan Automotive Keys to win are next on the 46 Game of the Week.
This is the WHME TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Thor Industries, Bethel College Admissions, Teachers Credit Union, Bill's Heating, Jordan Auto Group, IU South Bend, Electrical Workers Local 153, JV Macri Orthodontics, Crown Trophy, Imagineering Finishing Technologies, and the IHSAA.
This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week is being brought to you by the Jordan Auto Group. It's simple, easy, and stress-free. Welcome everybody to our pregame show, the Jordan Automotive Keys to win as we count down to kickoff on this jewel of the east side, the Father Bly Field. And the Marian Knights and the St. Joe Indians getting ready to do battle. Looking now at our keys to win. They're brought to you by the aforementioned Jordan Auto Group. For the Marian Knights, they come into this game relying heavily on a pair of seniors. One of them is John Brock, the running back, who has had a terrific start to the year. 21 carries for 276 yards and 3 touchdowns. He has been very explosive coming out of the backfield, had 152 yards in basically the first half last week against John Glenn. And then on both offense and defense, as Bob has alluded to, Zach Whitfield has been the man this year. You may remember him as a linebacker and running back, but he's moved to guard this year because, quite frankly, that's where they need him. But as a linebacker, he's a 2-time All-NIC player and has been a terrific star over his Marian career. The keys to win for Michael Davidson's Knights.
Well, really, the keys are very similar for both teams. You have to avoid the big play, and obviously both teams would like to control the football, but can't give up that big play, especially if it's a special teams or a pick six. You got to be physical on the line. It's going to have to go both ways, but the Marian Knights have done what they've had to do to have the best players in the best positions in the line. St. Joe the same thing, and they got to control their emotions. The Marian Knights coming over here trying to equal the longest winning streak in this series. At 5 games, they've won 4 straight. You're going to get one tonight. You're going to have to do it at Layton Field and Father Bly Field, or Layton Stadium. So it's going to be a big challenge for Michael Davidson. He's undefeated as a head coach, 2-0 in his first season.
The Indians have poured out of the tunnel at the northwest corner of the stadium. They surround their head coach, Brian Witten, in prayer right now, and they are led by a couple of talented individuals, and one is their running back, John Driscoll, 6'1", 193 pounds, and a junior. He has rushed for 357 yards already this season, started the year with a 218-yard performance against Concord. And then another two-way player. And one of the big white dogs on the offensive line is Casey Connery, 6'1", 235, and a senior returning starter on the O-line, and one of the top tacklers on this team a year ago at middle linebacker, honor roll student, and just one of the real cogs of this St. Joe team. The keys to win for Brian Witten and the Indians.
The Indians have to cash in on opportunities. A game like this, it might come down to maybe 7 or 8 possessions per team, and you're looking at 3 or 4 opportunities to score. You got to cash in. They got to play assignment football. They got to know that Marian is a program that has been based on the option. Now, they don't run the pure option like they used to, but they still have those aspects. You got to play assignment football, and they got to stay focused. Got to be ready to play the entire 48 minutes. This is going to be, as predicted, the Holy War, and both teams are very pumped up for this. Brian Witten in his 3rd season at St. Joe.
The captains meeting at midfield. They've just done the reenactment of the coin toss. As you take a look at the weather, sponsored by St. Joe High School, 81 degrees. It's very breezy. The wind out of the southeast at 10, but it's not going to rain tonight. Marian has won the toss and deferred. St. Joe will defend down at the west end of Father Bly Field. And as we look back at the series history of this one, Bob, even though recent history has gone Marian's way, it has St. Joe in the lead.
34-23 is the margin, and we checked that with Father Bly, so we know it's official. But the Marian Knights won the first 5, and then St. Joe really dominated for most of the series. And last year, a 1-point ball game, 14-13. Marian wins it. That was September 1st a year ago, almost to the date. And we're ready to do battle again. And again, the wind is out of the southeast, about 11 miles an hour. Marian will kick off. They're wearing the road white jerseys and the navy pants. And St. Joe in the powder blue jerseys, white pants, white helmets. Marian in the silver helmets. It's going to be fun. We're glad to be here to bring you this one on TV 46. And to call tonight's play-by-play action, our Family Broadcasting Corporation Sports Director, Chuck Freeby.
Thank you, Bob, and thanks to Holy Cross College for sponsoring our live stream on Facebook tonight. Hunter Renner about to put the boot to it. He's had 5 touchbacks this season on kickoffs, and he just got number 6 as he puts it in the end zone for the touchback. And so it'll be 1st and 10 for the St. Joe Indians at their own 20-yard line as Ashton Ruskowski, the All-NIC quarterback and a senior, leads them out onto the field of play. Our first quarter tonight brought to you by Knights of Columbus Insurance Advisor Andrew Weiss. Discover the Catholic difference. There you see the Tribe quarterback, Ashton Ruskowski, as ball boy a little slow getting one of the St. Joe balls into the hands of the officials, but we're just about ready to go here. Ruskowski, 12 of 24 passing on the year for 202 yards and a touchdown. He's also a mobile quarterback. and had a touchdown run of 38 yards in the win over Concord.
And we talked about the early play of Roskowski. He hasn't been prolific, but he hadn't had to be because they've run the ball so well, and they'd like to do that again tonight.
St. Joe will operate from the shotgun. John Driscoll is the running back to the right of Ashton Roskowski. Twin receivers to his left. Roskowski looks to throw and finds Connor Radigan in the flat, picks up about 6 yards before Mitchell Florin brings him down. And it'll be 2nd and 4 as we meet the St. Joe offense for you tonight. We told you about Roskowski. There's Driscoll and Lewis in the backfield. You just saw Radigan, the leading receiver on the team. They'll throw to the tight end, Austin Lee, and the White Dogs have done the job up front. Mark Keystand is headed to Air Force next year, and the Connery brothers have done a dynamite job at guard.
A lot of experience in that lineup, and that's something they had to build over the last 2 years. They struggled through some tough situations, but the veteran ball club.
Radigan with a pickup of 5 on that first down play. The handoff to Driscoll off the left side. Florin closed down well and got a lot of help inside, and they hold it to no gain. So we take a look at the Marian defense. And along that front line, they've had some nice plays so far this year from Miguel Ortiz, the big junior defensive tackle. The linebacker crew headed up by Zach Whitfield, the 2-time all-conference selection. And if your last name's Michael, you qualify for a spot in the secondary, except for one corner where Jacob Wild fills in.
They gave him 2 yards on that carry. Brings up a 3rd down and 4.
From its own 26, Roskowski wants to throw. Has nobody really open, and J.P. Lewis tried to come up with it, couldn't. That play was well covered by Marian, and it's a 3 and out as Michael Gibson had the coverage for the Knights.
Marian had good penetration. They stayed in their lanes. Good effort by Roskowski to try to find somebody open, but couldn't.
Patrick Oliva has had a good year kicking the football at 37 yards, but he'll be kicking into a stiff wind here. And Michael Gibson is a dangerous punt returner, averaging 33 yards a return so far this season. A little bit of a high snap. Oliva had it blocked. St. Joe tried to pick it up and run with it, but could not get to the first down marker. And Marian will take over deep in St. Joe territory. Terrific penetration by the Marian Knights this time, and we'll see another look at our Bethel College admissions replay.
Marian takes over 1st and 10 at the St. Joe 29.
And it was Paul Klein who got in there to block the punt for Marian.
It's not a turnover necessarily, but it's close.
Huge special teams play early in this game for the Knights. Setting up there, junior quarterback Mitchell Nagy, the transfer from Penn, who will operate out of the shotgun with John Brock just to his right. And it's Brock on the handoff left side, and he squirts out for 6 yards on the first down carry before he's brought down from behind. J.P. Lewis on the stop. Let's take a look at the Marian offense. And you see Nagy along with Brock and DeBow in the backfield. They're really high on Maddox Begonia at wideout. And the offensive line headed up by that side with Zach Whitfield and Paul Klein and the big center, Alec Michelin. Brock takes the handoff in his backfield, and Casey Connery greets him rather rudely back at the 25. We told you all about Connery in the pregame, and he comes up with another big hit for St. Joe. Let's meet the St. Joe defense now. Kenzel Kelly having a terrific season along the front. Matt Yarbrough starting for the injured Josh Crudup at nose guard. There's Connery heading the linebacker court, and then Noah Hickey was an all-conference cornerback last year. 3rd and 5 for the Knights. Nagy from the gun, 50% passer on the year, completes this one for a first down as he finds his man. It's Thomas Ewing, the tight end, making the first down catch. And Marian advances the ball inside the Indians' 20 to the 18 as you get another look from Bethel College admissions.
Pretty efficient pass right there because you needed about 5. You got 7.
That's a nice first down.
Brett Badek, the former line coach at St. Joe, now the offensive coordinator at Marian. And he dialed up a nice play there on 3rd down. Nagy again from the gun. Nagy to throw, under pressure. Dan Stone got there, and down he goes. Stone, the senior linebacker, with his 3rd sack of the year. He really loves to come off the edge.
Create a situation where quarterback had to step up into the pocket, but the pocket collapsed pretty quickly, and St. Joe had a lot of people there in a bad mood. Good play.
Pockets will collapse when nobody blocks you.
It's one of the rules, isn't it?
So now Marian looking at a 2nd and 16. Wind at their back. Brock, right side, he gets corralled after about a 2-yard gain. Coming up and making the stop is Luke Leonard, the junior linebacker, 5'10", 190, and a junior. So it's 3rd and 15 for Marian, not a team that's known for converting these long-distance situations. And St. Joe's defense has been really good on 3rd down this year. They've allowed just 9 conversions in 26 tries.
And I think Marian is probably what they feel is within field goal range. So we might see a draw play, something like that, see what they can get if they can get the 1st down.
From the Indians' 22, man in motion, but Nagy looking for the end zone, throws it out of the end zone because he was thrown into double coverage. Thomas Ewing was well defended. So you mentioned the kicking game, and we talked about a little bit in our pregame coverage on Facebook. Here comes Hunter Renner on to try the field goal. Renner's 6'4", 202 pounds, and a junior. He's a keeper for the Marian soccer team. And he has not attempted a field goal so far this year. This will be from 39 yards away with the wind at his back. Maddox Begonia is the holder. Renner's a big kid, 6'4", 202. The kick sponsored by Laura Dennison Health Market Insurance, and it spins wide to the left. So St. Joe's defense comes up with a couple of big plays and holds on downs. 8:21 to go in the first. Scoreless in the Holy War on 46. This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week is brought to you in part by Thor Industries, the world's largest RV manufacturer. There you take a look at Michael Davidson, the first-year head coach of the Marian Knights, former defensive coordinator. He's been an assistant at Marian for 8 years, a 2002 Marian grad, and then matriculated to Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. Ashton Ruskowski from the shotgun hands it off. And weaving his way through traffic is John Driscoll, picking up about 6 before he took a real hard hit on the thigh that time.
8 yards in his first 2 carries for Driscoll tonight. Brock, 7 yards and 3 carries.
That's the kind of running game that St. Joe would like to try to get established tonight. It would take the pressure off that young man, Ashton Ruskowski. Patrick Driscoll comes into the lineup with the play from the sidelines. Play clock down to 10. They'll hand it off. This time it's J.P. Lewis, and Marian strings out the play really well. Good defense that time by the Knights. Zach Whitfield in there on the stop as well for Marian.
Picked up a yard on the play. Excellent execution by both defenses so far tonight, Chuck. Very sharp in how they execute. Swinging that play out for Marian. St. Joe did a nice job. Thwarted a scoring chance early in the ball game for the Knights.
Big 3rd and 3 situation here. The defenses have dominated so far in the first quarter. Ewing was showing blitz, and Ruskowski throws behind Connor Radigan. He was short of the first down anyway. And so it would appear to be another punting situation for St. Joe, and we'll see if they can get this one away.
A big thank you goes out to Hacienda Mexican Restaurants for supporting high school athletics. It's football season, and Hacienda is a great place to watch any game. Bring your friends in for their famous ranch and wet burritos. Hacienda's 100 Center has been serving the community for over 40 years and wants to thank you for your continued support. Is there a better place to go after a game than Hacienda?
Again, Patrick Oliva, the punter for St. Joe. Michael Gibson, the deep man. Marian was able to block the punt the first time. Another slow snap, but Oliva hangs this one high. It's a wobbler. It'll take a Marian roll and go into St. Joe territory to the 49-yard line. So again, excellent field position for Marian. They have been on the St. Joe side of the field the entire game.
Will take over at the St. Joe 49.
Net of what, 26 yards on the punt?
Actually, only about a 22-yard punt with no return.
Wind is a big factor here early.
So Marian comes in from the sidelines. The Knights scoring 42 points a game in wins over South Bend Clay and John Glenn. They failed to score on the first possession, but we'll see if this is a different story here. Tyler DeBow in at running back right now. And it's Nagy throwing out in the flat, and this play is well diagnosed by the Indians. Noah Hickey came in to make the first hit, and that'll go for a loss of 1. Mitchell Florin made the grab, but Hickey, in a collision of 4s, made the stop a yard behind the line of scrimmage.
Florin on the reception.
2nd and 11 as we approach the midway point of quarter number 1. Marian will put 2 receivers out to the right of Mitchell Nagy. And Nagy's looking left, and it's almost intercepted. He threw it right into the bread box of a St. Joe defender, and it must have caught him by surprise because J.P. Lewis would have had clear sail into the end zone if he hangs on to that one.
Little timing route. Good drop by St. Joe. That's good scouting and preparation.
Good drop on defense, not good drop in terms of losing the football on when it hits you right in the gut. 3rd and 11. St. Joe showing pressure on the corners, and here they come after Nagy. Flushed out of the pocket, he'll have to throw it away. Outstanding pressure again by the Indians as Jeremy Klima came roaring in from the side.
That is a good incompletion as well, Chuck. And again, we got 2 good quarterbacks that know if the play's not there, don't try to do something silly. He was rolling out to his right, momentum going to the right. Good pressure again from St. Joe. Wow.
So Hunter Renner, who averages about 41 yards a kick, will try to get this one out. The down marker is at the 50, the ball at the 49, but nevertheless, Renner boots it away. And a fair catch called for and made back at the 15-yard line by Noah Hickey. So St. Joe will once again have to start inside its own 20-yard line, and Marian has been able to have good field position tonight, but they have not been able to cash it in.
Thor Industries loves this time of year because team pride is on full display. That team culture from Friday Night Sidelines extends to our Thor Industries team. Build your future right here in Elkhart with one of Thor's excellent career opportunities. Get started today at ThorIndustries.com.
And again, St. Joe will use that shotgun formation. Roskowski flanked by a pair of running backs. And Roskowski keeps it himself, and Marian was ready for that too as they dump him after a loss of 3. Traylon Markham came in and made the hit behind the line of scrimmage. 3rd time this year that the big 292-pound senior has done that. Well, Bob, both of these teams come into this game tonight with great defensive reputations. That has shown so far, and both of them come in with 2-0 records. And that's the first time that this has happened in this rivalry since back in 2007, which is one reason you've got a standing room only crowd here tonight.
Great environment for high school football. Look at that view of this beautiful facility. Layton Stadium, Father Bly Field, brand new high school on the left. Congratulations, St. Joe. Great development.
Roskowski throws against the grain and has a man open, but an excellent open field tackle made by C.J. Jaguva, the junior linebacker, or that play could have been a big gainer. Jaguva, the young man out of Our Lady of Hungary School, 6'1", 186 pounds, makes a great tackle in the open field.
Pretty good effort to get the ball off.
Brings up 3rd and 8.
by Roskowski.
Patrick Oliva checks in with the play from the sidelines, and St. Joe will run trips to the right of Roskowski. Let's see if Marian comes on a blitz here. Roskowski does have a linebacker coming, but eludes him. Weaves his way up to the 18-yard line, but that's well short of the first down. And the third 3 and out for the Marian defense in the first quarter.
Well, I'll tell you what, both defenses showing up ready to play tonight.
Naguva was coming on the blitz that time, and then Markham was able to finish him off. And Traylon Markham with a very solid defensive series that time for Marian. Here's Oliva punting into the wind again. Gets this one away, a much better kick. And this one will take a St. Joe roll. Gibson's going to let it hit down at the 42-yard line. And Marian will finally have to start a possession on its side of the field.
Pretty good punt, as you said, Chuck, against the wind that time. And it did take a fortuitous bounce for the Indians.
Bo Hunt's down on the sidelines tonight working things. And Bo joining us with a Bills Heating sideline report. You got to be as impressed with these defenses as we are. What's been the difference for them so far from what you can see?
It's been the guys up front on the defense, the tackles, the ends. It's the pressure they're putting on the quarterbacks, especially on the passing situations. They're stopping the run. Look for maybe one of the two teams. You saw St. Joe right there try to run the screen to the backside. Look for some misdirection type plays because both these defenses are very aggressive.
Well, Nagy tried to do that right there, and he came right up the middle of the field and picked up about 6 yards before J.P. Lewis brought him down. And so it'll be 2nd and 3. You get another look courtesy of Bethel College admissions, and they did run some misdirection and got St. Joe to kind of leave its position a little bit.
Screen, draw, misdirection. Those are ways you overcome a defense that's putting their ears back and coming at you.
Tyler DeBow, the lone back in the backfield. They put John Brock over in the slot this time. Nagy wants to throw. Here comes pressure, and the pocket collapses again, and he got racked up well back at the 45. There were all kinds of Indians there. Leading the charge was the nose tackle, Matt Yarbrough, who's getting the start tonight in place of Josh Crudup. Crudup admits that he had a stroke during last week's game. His football career is over. Yarbrough has come in to fill the void and made a very fine play right there.
Spent some time talking with Josh about Shakespeare and other things. What a talented young man. He's got a great life ahead of him in the theater, and he's a very talented young man.
3rd and 6. Florin makes the grab, but well short of the first down by 5 yards. He only picked up a yard on that one. And a 3 and out for the St. Joe defense. And Hunter Renner will come on to punt.
3 out of 6 to start the game for Nagy, but for a total of 7 yards.
Line of scrimmage is the 47. Renner has a long of 52 this year. He's had 4 punts inside the 20. This will be the 5th as Hickey makes the fair catch back at the 17. So with 1:39 to go in the first quarter, we remain scoreless.
36 yards on the punt. No return. Fair catch. Chuck, so far I think maybe you could list the block punt as the only mistake by either team tonight. St. Joe's defense stepped up and took care of that business, but man, both teams have really come out focused on what they got to do.
So again, Ashton Roskowski, another one of these quarterbacks who trains with the former Irish quarterback Evan Sharpley, goes to work and he hands it off to J.P. Lewis. And Lewis is only able to squeeze out about 2 yards that time. And again, plenty of Marian defenders waiting for him. The holes that the St. Joe offensive line were able to make against Concord, Brian Witten has not been able to see his team make those tonight.
Laura Dennison, Health Markets agent, serves clients in Northern Indiana and Southwest Michigan for health, life, and Medicare. Let Laura Dennison help you with your insurance needs. Call her at 574-360-5765 or visit the website at lauradennison.net.
Ewing coming out of blitz, but St. Joe going with a handoff, and there's the hole in the first down for John Driscoll. First down of the night for St. Joe. It's sponsored by McDonald Physical Therapy as he gets it up to the 30-yard line. You get another look courtesy of Bethel College Admissions. Casey Connery moving bodies out of the way on the front of that line.
Got just enough for the first down.
So 1st and 10 from the Tribe 30, their first down of the night. Marion's only had one as well. Ruskowski, a bullet to Connor Radigan. He's taken down immediately after a pickup of 4. Excellent coverage that time for Marian as Jacob Lyle, the senior cornerback, came up and made the hit on Radigan, who makes his 9th grab of the year. Radigan, a 6'1", 180-pound senior. As you look at Lyle there, the senior cornerback, only 5'9", but he's very quick. And that will do it for the first quarter of play here at Father Blythe Field on the campus of St. Joe High School. Defensive domination by both Marian and St. Joe, and that's why it's still scoreless here on the 46 game of the week. This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week is brought to you by IU South Bend, fulfilling the promise. Nothing between Marian and St. Joe in the Holy War. We get downstairs for a Bills Heating sideline report. Bo Hunt, everybody talks about the intensity of this rivalry. Is it something you can sense down there on the sideline?
Definitely, you can sense it here on the sidelines between the stands. I walk to the other side as well, the Marian side. You can feel it in the student body and in the fans and sitting in the stands, kind of biting on their nails, nervousness, just up and down on every big play and every 3-4 yard pickup. It's just a big momentum movement for the crowds as well, guys.
All right, thank you, Bo. Second quarter brought to us by Knights of Columbus insurance advisor Andrew Weiss. Discover the Catholic difference. High snap, John Driscoll wound up handling it himself, and Driscoll awfully close to the first down as he gets knocked out of bounds near the 40-yard line.
The ball was at the 30, so if he gets to the 40, if he achieves the 40-yard line, it's going to be a first down.
Take a look at the hit on Driscoll as he winds up going out of bounds thanks to Michael Gibson laying the lumber that time, and he'll be a yard short of that first down marker. So 3rd and 1, and big decisions here for offensive coordinator Dennis Teagarden and Brian Witten's St. Joe Indians. Ruskowski tries to keep it himself to get to the first down marker, and where the linesman is coming in on the near side, he did not get there. He is about 6 inches short. And so an even bigger decision.
I was going to say, you just said big decision. Is a bigger one coming up.
He has to get to the stripe of the 40-yard line, and you can see the space between the ball and the 40. And Brian Witten showing some confidence in his offensive line. Will Faulkner, the junior center, flanked by the Connery brothers, the guards. Let's see if they go back to the quarterback sneak. It is, and Ruskowski gets a bush push from behind and gets to the 42. Well, that's legal now.
Yes, it is.
And the first down sponsored by McDonald Physical Therapy. John Driscoll came right in from behind, and watch the bulldozer move here by, I think it might have been J.P. Lewis, who just gets in there and says, no, you're getting the first down.
Lewis did a good job there. Checking that first quarter, St. Joe 11 yards passing, 15 rushing, 26 total. Marian 7 yards passing, 5 rushing, total of 12. Both teams had 1 first down.
You can hear the roar of these two crowds going back and forth here with the We Got Spirit cheer as Ruskowski loads up to try to go deep. And it's incomplete. Double coverage out there. Excellent defense that time by Marian in the secondary. Michael Schaefer was there to knock it away along with Jacob Lyle.
I like the idea of going, trying to stretch the field a little bit. Good defense there. Both
You have the
defensive
wind
backs.
behind you.
But stretch the defense out a little bit. Give them a look, and first team to do that tonight. Imagineering Finishing Technologies is a world-class metal finishing company specializing in plating, coating, testing, and consulting services. 59 years as a knowledge source for metal finishing solutions. You can reach us at info@iftworldwide.com.
Looking at 2nd and 10. Ruskowski wants to throw a screen, and it's almost bobbled. And then the catch made, still on his feet to the 46-yard line. Marian trying to say they have the football, but the linesman says the ball was marked down.
Wow.
You get another look here on the Bethel College admissions replay. It was Driscoll who made the catch. John with his 2nd grab of the year.
Gain of 4 yards, and he had to really earn that.
So 3rd and 6. Single receivers to each side and a balanced formation for Ruskowski and the Tribe. Blitzing linebacker, and it's picked up, but Ruskowski's pass sails too high. Again, good physical defense by Jacob Lyle at cornerback, as he had the coverage that time.
4 out of 8, 15 yards for Ruskowski so far. He was 50% coming into tonight. That ball a little high, sailed a little bit with the wind, but catchable.
So now it's Oliva's turn to punt with the wind, and we'll see how much of a difference that makes for him as Gibson waits inside his 20. Good snap this time, and Oliva gets it out of there. A spiraling kick that Gibson will field at his 11. Gibson with a stop-and-go move. He's dangerous, and he's all the way up to the 33, a 22-yard return for the Marian elusive returner.
Gibson with a 20-yard return. Marian will take over 1st and 10 at their own 33.
About 38 yards on the punt.
Tackle made by Austin Lee.
Great stop-and-go moves that time by Gibson, and then finally Austin Lee was able to bring him down. But good field position again for Marian. They just have not been able to exploit it. The Knights have been averaging 222 yards on the ground every game, but running yards have been tough to come by tonight. Tyler DeBow squeezes out 7 here with his first carry of the night, as the diminutive junior gets his 9th carry of the year.
Chuck, I got to tell you something, brother. I've seen every one of these Marian St. Joe games since 1967. Father Bly and I are probably the only two. 1971, the fall of 71, the final score was 2-0. Wouldn't be surprised.
The rate we're going. 2nd and 4. DeBow, oh, did he get smacked that time as he got the handoff. Dan Stone may have felt like one to DeBow when he ran into him there.
Man. And I mean, he had some momentum going after the handoff. Look at how he's going for, and just that's it. You're done.
And it was Yarborough who actually put the biggest hit on him that time. The backup nose guard. So 3rd and 5.
Brings up 3rd and 5.
Nagy under center. Trying to get St. Joe to jump. Pro-style drop back. Nagy launches it towards the St. Joe sidelines, and it goes out of bounds. And again, Stone and Yarborough applying the pressure that time.
3 out of 7 now for Nagy, for 7 yards.
Brings up 4th and 5 for the Knights.
Chuck, I think the best chance Marian had of getting that first down that play was if they roughed the passer, which they did, but legally. I mean, they gave him a shot.
So now Hunter Renner is going to punt into the wind. Noah Hickey is waiting for it back at about his 32.
He's got a couple of quick moves too, so keep an eye on Hickey back there.
High snap. Renner was able to bring it down and get it out of there. That's a big play. And it goes out of bounds at the 36-yard line.
Dennis Teagarden on the reception there.
Renner making a very athletic play to haul that one in and get it out of there.
Watch the end of the kick here. Coach Teagarden on the sidelines is bouncing toward him, and he reaches out and whacks it.
Well, St. Joe volleyball team's having a good season, and maybe he's learned a thing or two from them.
10 on their own 34.
8:18 to go first half. You look at Michael Davidson on that Marian sideline, encouraging his defense to come up with some more big plays. Ruskowski throws into the flat, and it's dropped. There may have been some footsteps heard that time by Asante Anglin as pressure was coming.
Intended for Anglin.
And it'll be 2nd and 10 for St. Joe.
Since 1882, the Knights of Columbus have been protecting Catholic families and promoting Catholic values through their insurance and financial programs. They donate their profits to charity and vow never to make an investment that run contrary to church teaching. To learn more, call Andrew Weiss. Andrew Weiss is at 574-272-6929, or look for him in the back of your parish bulletin. Andrew Weiss.
Driscoll with a hard run this time, but he gets wrestled to the ground. Isaac Hibbs, the big junior defensive end, tosses him down at the 40 after a pickup of 6.
Whitfield in on that tackle as well.
Watch this nice cutback, though, by Driscoll, and then Hibbs took the brunt of the blow, but hung on for the tackle.
Gain of 6 yards.
3rd and 4. St. Joe has been prone to throw in these situations. You wonder if they might try to come back with some sort of a draw play right here. Nope, Ruskowski's going to pass. He's going to load up, and the receiver he either fell down or got pushed down. Hard to say, but Radigan was on the turf, and standing behind him was Jacob Lyle.
Well, maybe we can get a look at it. Radigan doesn't seem to be too upset that he...
Well, he's saying he got held.
Just grabbed his jersey a little bit.
So another 3 and out. 4th and 4. And here's a leave it a punt again. Michael Gibson nearly broke a return last time. Can he do it this time? Oliva's punt. Rolls past Gibson inside the 15 to the 12-yard line, and that's where it'll be marked. So with 7:18 to go in the first half, it remains Marian nothing, St. Joe nothing. You're watching high school football on the 46 Game of the Week. This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week is being brought to you by Bethel College Admissions, equipping for lifelong service. Alongside my Hall of Fame partners, Bob Nagel and Bo Hunt, Chuck Freeby with you from Father Bly Field in South Bend. Marian and St. Joe renewing their long-standing Catholic school rivalry dating back to the late 1960s. And it's a 0-0 ball game. And we've got a little officials time out for a discussion downstairs, which gives us a chance to thank our sponsors and also let you know who our officials are tonight.
They are Michael Banishak, the referee, Mike Otowski, Michael Kelly, Chad Davis, and Jamie Pluta are the officials for tonight's game. Pretty much of a veteran crew. Folks, want to tell you they committed excellence in serving the community for 29 years. McDonald's Physical Therapy and Sports Rehabilitation Center. Their services include a wide range of patients. They specialize in Alter-G, that's anti-gravity, treadmill use, ASTEM, treatments, and brand new blood flow restriction therapy. No doctor referral needed. That's McDonald Physical Therapy, where they treat patients like family.
So now they are calling it a touchback. That's the signal that was given. Bo Hunt, you were down there listening to the official's explanation. What can you tell us?
The defender that came down actually batted the ball into the end zone, so he never actually possessed the ball. In other words, when you bat it in the end zone, it's an automatic touchback on that, guys.
All right, so the batted ball into the end zone gives Marian a 1st and 10 at its own 20.
8-yard
Handoff in the backfield, and John Brock is met by a covey of blue jerseys as he gets to the line of scrimmage. So here's what Bo was talking about. By the way, Bo's sideline report brought to us by Bill's Heating. Watch the defender here. He didn't possess the ball. He batted it, and it rolled all the way into the end zone, and that's why that's a touchback.
No gain on the play for Brock. 7 yards on 4 carries.
You may not like the rule. It's the rule nonetheless.
I think it's designed to, keep from delaying the game.
Luke Leonard was coming on a blitz. Brock ran to the other side, and Johnny Brock comes close to a first down up to the 29-yard line. Brock has been the leading ground gainer for the Knights this year, and you'll meet him at halftime, one of our TCU Student Athletes of the Week.
Half a yard short. So many things happening for both teams tonight that were so similar. St. Joe had this challenge.
J.P. Lewis in on the stop that time for the Indians. See if Marian goes with the quarterback sneak. They do, and Nagy gets the first down easily up to the 33-yard line. Great surge by his center, Alec Mishler, the 2-year starter and a member of the Marian wrestling team.
There was a quarterback at Marian, Bobby Mishler, a few years back, no relation. But, of course, the Mishler that's at center now said if he was a good quarterback, I think he was my cousin. Big carry right there.
1st and 10 from its own 33. Brock, the tail of the tandem, and St. Joe strings this play out well, and there will be no gain at the line of scrimmage because coming up and making the stop for St. Joe was Jeremy Klima.
Looks like St. Joe is selling out on Brock on every down. They're looking at him. Kineski Funeral Home is a proud sponsor of high school athletics at Kineski Funeral Home. We're grateful and blessed to be able to continue our great-grandfather's legacy of caring for our community for the past 9 decades. We're fathers, sons, sisters, brothers, cousins, nieces, and nephews, grandchildren, and even son-in-laws working together for you. At Kineski Funeral Home, family really is most important, not just ours, but yours.
Nagy going over the top, has a man open, that's Thomas Ewing, down the sidelines to the 28, and Marian gets the first big offensive play of the night. A 39-yard connection from Nagy to Ewing as he found the tight end roaming free. Trevor Jehaki brought him down from behind.
42 yards on the reception.
First and 10 from the Indian 28. It's DeBow, the fullback, and he only got a yard before he got corralled. Klima again coming out of the pile. The 6'1", 175-pound senior doing a dynamite job in there tonight.
Chuck, remember that was 3rd down and short. They had the defensive secondary up, and they were able to get it by him.
2nd and 9 now for Marian. Single receiver on each side of quarterback Mitchell Nagy. It's DeBow again, the fullback, dances his way up to the 24-yard line. DeBow, an excellent member of the Marian baseball team, sets them up for a 3rd and about 6 right here.
Intech RV, the industry leader in lightweight teardrop and adventure trailers, allowing your family to enjoy time together in the great outdoors. Find out more at intechrv.com. A big shout out goes out to Marian Knights Michael Schnippel, number 9. Best of luck on a great season, Michael.
Key play here for the Knights. Jumping along the line of scrimmage, but on both sides. Who went first? St. Joe feels like it's against Marian, and so do the Knights. They're walking backwards.
First penalty of the night.
And it's a big one. Might even take Marian out of field goal range.
With that wind in their face, probably.
Full start against the Knights.
For more than 50 years, Holy Cross College has a proven record of forming students to be scholars, citizens, leaders, and disciples. Holy Cross is a small school with big-time access to the University of Notre Dame and St. Mary's College. Holy Cross is committed to helping students meet their individual goals and proud to introduce new 3-year intensive bachelor programs. For more information, visit hcc-nd.edu admissions or call them at 574-239-8400. Holy Cross College.
3rd and 11. Nagy throws to Mitchell Florin. Florin darts up the field and gets rocked at the 24-yard line. And so now Michael Davidson has a decision to make. Does he put it on the foot of Hunter Renner for a 41-yard field goal into the wind? Or does he take a shot here on 4th down? I think he'll go for it. Nope, he's going to send Renner out there.
41 yards into the wind. We'll see. He's got to have confidence that he has this kind of range. But again, the wind, partner, is kind of wafting now from the south and into their face a little bit.
Renner missed earlier from 39. This one's blocked. Mark Heastan got a big paw up there and knocked it down. It was a low line drive anyway. And St. Joe is held once again.
Can it get any more even? Both teams with a block kick.
Take another look, and Heastan doesn't leap very high, didn't have to. It was a low line drive kick, and Renner with a look of dejection.
I think Renner got it started at the trajectory he thought it needed. Couldn't put a lot of loft on that one.
1st and 10 from the 25. Jaguna came on a blitz, but it was good interior line play that stopped that play for Marian, as Traylon Markham is having himself a first half. Markham had a great game last week against John Glenn, and the transfer from Adams doing the job here again tonight. It's 2nd and 9.
That possession for Marian, 5 minutes and 4 seconds, the longest by far of any team tonight.
Both teams have all their timeouts remaining. So as that clock on the Thor Industries scoreboard wanes down, we'll see who wants to stop it first. Roskowski wants to load up and throw it deep. He's airing it out, and the catch is not made. It's dropped out there. They were going for Connor Radigan, and Jacob Lyle was with them step for step.
Man.
Great battle out there. Radigan had both hands on it, but couldn't hang on.
Ladies and gentlemen, at halftime, please remain in your seats.
And of course, that stops the clock with 1:28.
St. Joe had a possession right at the end of the first quarter in the second, 4:01. Marian just had one 5:04, and other than that, everything's been a minute or so.
You have to be a little careful here if you're St. Joe. You don't want to leave too much time on the clock for Marian. On the other hand, you got to try to pick up a first down. Pass is incomplete, so another 3 and out. Didn't take much time off the clock, and Marian's going to get the ball back with 3 timeouts and over a minute remaining here in the first half.
Get to a better state by visiting your State Farm agent, Ryan Sousley. Stop by his office located at 2029 North Cedar in Mishawaka, just north of Jordan Ford. Like a good neighbor, State Farm agent Ryan Sousley is there. Call today, 574-257-8220.
Now Gibson has some room to work with as he waits back at his 35. Oliva under heavy pressure gets off an end-over-end kick, and Gibson lets it roll. He makes the catch at the 28, eludes one tackler, can't elude them all, and finally brought down at the 34-yard line, and that's where Marian will go to work with 1:12 left in the first half.
Well, Marian went up top against the wind and had their best completion of the ball game. They got 1:12 to go. You certainly got to be careful on the other hand, partner. You don't turn it over and give St. Joe another chance.
So let's see what Michael Davidson and his offensive coordinator, Brett Badek, decide to do right here. 66 yards from pay dirt, but 1:12 to go in the half, and all their timeouts. Nagy will operate from the gun. And keeps it himself, only to get rocked at the line of scrimmage. Man, the hitting in this game has been ferocious tonight.
A net of 1 yard for Nagy tonight running the football.
Kenzel Kelly and Jalen Knapp Petty combined on the tackle that time.
that yardage for Nagy includes a couple of sacks. So the defense for St. Joe has really, really been intense, and it has been for Marian as well.
2nd and 10, Nagy from the gun. Gives it to John Brock, and he gets submarined after a pickup of 1. Luke Leonard comes in and makes the hit that time. Leonard, the 5'10 junior, who's also a member of the St. Joe lacrosse team. Look at the technology these days. Bob, back when you played, they did things with chisels and granite and just, hieroglyphics.
I think it was a chalkboard back in the day. Bob Otowski.
Timeout sponsored by Indiana Tech RV, InTech RV, with 23 seconds to go in the first half.
Hey, Marian Nation, you're invited to attend the dedication of the 14 oak animal carvings at Potawatomi Park on September 27th at 3:30 p.m. Each oak carving is between 14 and 40 feet tall. Be part of the celebration in honor of Robert F. Goodchild. Go Knights, and come on out to Potawatomi Park on September 27th.
Reminder, next Friday night we go into the Northern Lakes Conference. Take you on over to Middlebury, where the defending conference champs Northridge, who are up 10-0 tonight on Wawasee, away to visit from the Plymouth Rockies. We'll see what John Barron's squad has to offer. They've got the 99th renewal of their rivalry with Warsaw tonight. Should be a fun one in the NLC. We'll join you Friday night at 11, Saturday morning at 9, and if possible, if the streams allow us, on Facebook Live. 3rd and 9 with 23 seconds left in the half. They'll keep it on the ground with Johnny Brock. And Brock spins his way for a first down. It's sponsored by McDonald Physical Therapy. 45-yard line, only 16 seconds left. If you're Michael Davidson, he's been conservative with these 3 plays. Do you decide to air it out here? He's going to take a timeout to talk about it. Timeout sponsored by InTech RV.
You wonder if you got a play that you work on during the course of the season, maybe a little trick bag. We'll see what happens there. Hey, while we got a moment, want to ask you, want to be part of our exciting high school game of the week? WHME TV 46 and Pulse FM are hiring. Send your resume to sales manager at pulsefm.com today. Looking for an exciting career in broadcasting? WHME TV 46 and Pulse FM would love to have you as part of our team.
Boy, what a shootout they're having at Jackson Field tonight. Adams with a 26-12 lead on Riley, and that game's just going to the second quarter.
Coming up at halftime, Bo Hunt will be talking with one of our coaches, and we'll have our Student Athlete of the Week feature as well. And a message from St. Joseph High School, committed to faith, character, and excellence for 65 years. St. Joseph High School offers unparalleled opportunities in arts, athletics, and academics. Discover the only private high school in Michiana awarded 4 stars from Indiana's Department of Education. And reach us at stjohigh.com.
Nagy's going to air this one out. Trying to go down the field, and it's intercepted. Connor Radigan. And brings it back to the 50. A flag comes in behind the play.
They'll be holding against St. Joe. John Brock was held down and couldn't get up to help cover the interception.
But that would be after the pick.
Right.
The ball just fluttering out of the hands of Mitchell Nagy that time. I don't know exactly who he was trying to throw it to, but Radigan surprisingly did not call a fair catch on that. He just came up with it. So the discussion ensues about the flag back at the Marian 43. And it's a flag against St. Joe. Unsportsmanlike conduct against St. Joe as well.
Personal fouls calling against the Indians.
And they'll talk things over with Brian Witten down there on the St. Joe sideline to explain exactly what happened.
The player from Marian who was trying to get up and pursue the interceptor was Brock, and he was being held down at about the 40-yard line.
So winds up being 30 yards in penalties against St. Joe, but with 6 seconds left in the half, likely the Indians will just take a knee right here and go into the locker room at halftime.
Guess what that means, partner? St. Joe will have more penalty yardage than offense, perhaps. We'll see what happens.
They go into genuflect formation, very appropriate in this game. And Ruskowski takes a knee as they'll go to the locker room in a scoreless battle between St. Joe and Marian here at the half. And Bo Hunt, as you take a look at Father Walter Bly, the man this field is named for, great priest here in South Bend, a chaplain at St. Joe High School for many, many years, taking this one in from the sidelines. And speaking of the sidelines, let's go down there. Bo Hunt has a Bills Heating sideline report with Michael Davidson.
Coach, we knew coming in this was going to be a defensive battle. That's all it was that first half. Just talk about your guys' performance.
I liked what we had on the defensive side of the ball. We won the kicking game the first quarter. They won it in the second quarter, and it's going to come down to that in the second half.
You had a couple missed opportunities with field goals, one block, one with the distance, just off the side. Any adjustments second half?
As far as the kick game, no. I trust Hunter completely. We're going to keep giving it to him. Offensively, we got to get movement up front. We got to figure out what's going on over there.
Thanks for your time.
All right, thanks, Bo.
Back to you guys.
All right, folks, as you look at the skyline of the city of South Bend, nothing between Marian and St. Joe. Stick around, our TCU Student Athletes of the Week and our Hacienda 100 Center halftime report come your way after this on the 46 Game of the Week.
We welcome you back to Layton Stadium and Father Bly Field, where we have our Student Athletes of the Week ready to be interviewed, and it's a big part of our halftime every game. And it's brought to you by TCU. TCU reminds you to go online at tcunet.com and find out how you can become a member today. And our representatives, a couple special young men. Thomas Freeze is with us from St. Joseph High School, and John Bach is with us from Marian High School. And John, we'll start with you. You're the visitor tonight. But you've done a lot of great things at Marian High School, athletically as well as academically. Talk about your success and what that means to you.
At Marian, it's just everyone there has helped me achieve everything I've ever wanted to. Being on student council, on the football field, lacrosse, and track, it's just been a great opportunity.
You were the quarterback last year with a lot of speed, and I know Reggie Glenn liked the way you ran the football when you were a quarterback, but we got a quarterback that's now able to run the offense, and you're a tailback. Talk about the transition.
Since it was an option offense last year, it wasn't too much of a transition since that's a lot of running from the quarterback position. And so I had a lot of the form and the techniques down. It was pretty quick, pretty easy to switch.
Yeah, both of our young men tonight have something in common. They haven't chosen a college yet. You got a lot of options, and I know you'd like to challenge yourself academically at the highest level. Maybe a little thought of playing at the next level as well.
Yeah, definitely a choice I'm going to have to make soon. Got a lot of places I could go, and hopefully I'll just choose the right one and succeed there too.
Who's been special in your life, helped you with your success?
Both my parents have been huge, and my brothers, they've helped me from when I was just a little boy learning how to walk, and I want to thank everyone in my family.
A little extra juice tonight playing St. Joe?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
John Bach joining us from Marian High School, and Thomas Freeze is with us from St. Joseph High School. Thomas is involved with the tennis team, not just involved, but leading the way for the tennis team. Congratulations on all your great success.
Thank you.
And you're getting it done in the classroom too, so you're going to have a lot of options for yourself when it comes to college. But talk about the dedication it takes to play a game where in a lot of ways you're an individual and yet you're leading the team.
You know, it's just great being a captain. I'm so proud to lead these group of guys. They're really great. They have a lot of energy, and yeah, I'm just really sorry. No, yeah, sorry.
Talk about the plans for college and what you want to do down the road. You haven't chosen one.
Yeah.
You'd like to kind of pick your own place, so maybe see if you can compete there.
Yeah, I'd like to compete at the collegiate level, preferably Division I. Obviously, that's a really high standard, and I'm not quite there yet. Maybe looking to walk on at a D1 college, but Division III is looking more likely to play tennis there. Obviously, a lot of great academic schools there too. So, yeah.
No question about that. And you've got a team here at St. Joe that could compete downstate as well. A lot of good talent here.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be tough. There's a lot of good teams down in Indianapolis, but I think we have a great team, and I think we have a good shot.
Talk about the people that mattered in your life and helped you be successful.
Definitely my parents. They've given up so much financially, like time-wise, just like everything. They've given up a lot to help me succeed, and I just like to thank them because they're my support group. They motivate me even when I feel unmotivated, and definitely all my friends, because they feel for me and they know what I'm going through, and they're always there for me.
You're doing a great job here at St. Joe. Congratulations on all your success. Wish you all the best in the future.
Great, thank you.
All right, Thomas Priest from St. Joseph High School and John Bach from Marian High School, our Student Athletes of the Week, brought to you by TCU. TCU reminds you to go online at tcunet.com. Find out how you can become a member today. We're back with halftime stats and highlights in just a moment. You're watching the Holy War for 2018, St. Joe and Marian. Back in a moment.
This edition of the TV46 High School Football Game of the Week is brought to you in part by Crown Trophy. They're nationally known and locally owned. As the late Harry Carey used to say, both teams have what the little boys shot at, nothing. It's a scoreless duel here in the Holy War as Bob Nagel and Chuck Freeby are high atop the fray here at Father Bly Field. It would be an understatement to say the defenses dominated in the first half. Why did they dominate?
Well, I think they're both well coached, and I think they were both well prepared. Each team had 2 games under the belt, so you get a good idea what they're trying to do. And they're both very similar. They have great running backs. They have great quarterbacks, but the defense has been so quick, stretching things out. We've seen good plays on both sides defensively. Marian was able to block a kick early, couldn't capitalize. There was a blocked field goal later on. St. Joe couldn't capitalize. St. Joe had 30 yards in penalties there at the end of the first half. Marian's big play was 42 yards. It all equals out to a 0-0 score here at halftime.
Let's show you how it got to be this way. These two teams, as you would expect in a rivalry game like this, came out fired up and ready to go. Special teams made the first big play. Paul Klein with the block punt. Mitchell Nagy able to complete 1 first down pass, but they weren't able to make the field goal as St. Joe's defense behind a Dan Stone sack was able to hold. And then, well, it got a little hostile out there on the field at times. Michael Gibson with a nice special teams play here, a 22-yard punt return. But again, the defenses would come up with big plays. Look at the hit by Isaac Hibbs on John Driscoll. Just no room to run. 1 big pass play in the first half, 42 yards, as Bob mentioned, from Nagy to Ewing. But the Hunter Renner field goal is blocked by Marquis Stamp. It remains scoreless at that point, and it would continue to be scoreless because, well, teams couldn't take advantage of opportunities. Here's Connor Radigan with an interception. The return would get brought back. That's how the half ended. 0-0, and a look at the first half numbers will depress the offensive coordinators.
Well, you look at the rushing yards, and St. Joe with just 27 had limited passing, 15 yards, total of 42. Marian had that big play, 42 yards, so they ended up with the 88-yard offense in the first half. Both teams with 2 first downs, 1 turnover, and that was a toss-up that St. Joe was able to pick off. Time of possession favored Marian by about 2 minutes. Field position favored Marian as well, Chuck, and I think what's really important here in the second half, Marian will get the ball to start the second half, but St. Joe will have the wind at their back, so they get a chance to pin him back there. Could be a big situation.
They're trying to figure out some answers down in both locker rooms. When we come back, Bo Hunt will talk to Brian Witten about what they did in the St. Joe locker room. That is our Hacienda 100 Center location halftime report. 0-0 between Marian and St. Joe on a beautiful night for football in South Bend. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week brought to you by the electrical workers of Local 153. They're making our community brighter. Chuck Freeby, Bob Nagel, and Bo Hunt with you as the sun sets on South Bend on this Friday night, but hardly ready to set on this rivalry. Brian Witten's team in a moment of prayer before the second half in a scoreless duel. But before he prayed with his team, he talked with Bo Hunt. What did he have to say?
I got a chance to talk to Brian, and he talked about just execution of the offense. He said he really likes what they're trying to do. They just need to execute it. Offensive line, running backs, everybody, quarterback. So they just need to execute their offense. And defensively, they just didn't capitalize on a couple mistakes. They thought they had a pick 6 there early in the first half, but weren't able to do it. He said, execute, capitalize, and we'll come out victorious. Guys?
All right, Bo's report brought to us by Bill's Heating. Third quarter brought to us by Knights of Columbus Insurance Advisor Andrew Weiss. Discover the Catholic difference.
And our thanks to TCU for sponsoring our halftime. Teachers Credit Union understands the importance of growing your future. Whether you're growing your family, your square footage, or your business, Teachers Credit Union is here for you with financial solutions that will help you succeed. Visit tcunet.com to start growing your future today. federally insured by the NCUA. They're an equal housing opportunity lender.
Patrick Oliva will do the kickoff for St. Joe, 5'11", 160-pound junior. And he'll be kicking into the wind. The wind has died down a little bit, but it is still a breezy night here in the Bend.
The Knights won the toss and deferred, so they got to make the choice. We'll take the ball. St. Joe could elect where they wanted to go. They want to have the wind at their back in the fourth quarter.
And there you see Old Glory at half staff in honor of Senator John McCain, rippling in the breeze here in South Bend. It is Maddox Begonia back deep to take the kick.
We've got 24 minutes to decide it. Here's Chuck Freeby to bring you home with tonight's play-by-play.
Oliva puts toe to leather and sends this one hurtling into the South Bend Knight, and Begonia takes it in the end zone for a touchback. So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 20.
That was impressive. Marian started the ball game by kicking it into the end zone against St. Joe, and St. Joe pays them back. Man.
Mitchell Nagy had some rough numbers at quarterback in the first half for Marian, but he only had the one turnover.
4 out of 9, 49 yards. Actually, he was 4 out of 10 with the interception. No, that was right, 4 out of 9. He had 1 net yard gained. That included the yardage for 2 sacks.
Michael Davidson was pleased with 2/3 of his team in the first half. We'll see if the offense can generate something here in the second half. Long count, and they hand it off. Connery in on the stop after a pickup of 3 as John Brock is finally wrestled down.
Gonna mark him out close to the 24-yard line.
The running yards were tough to come by for both teams in the first half. These two squads both average about 220 yards of rushing per game coming into this one. Well, there hasn't been much for those folks to cheer about on either side tonight.
32 yards and 9 carries for Brock. 10 yards for DeBow on 4 carries.
Brock now over 300 yards rushing for the season. Marian on a 2nd and 6. It's Brock again off the left side. Tried to turn the corner and got stood up at the 25. Good popping going on out there again tonight. It's Connery, the big middle linebacker. In watching him this year, Bob, we only had one St. Joe game last year, but he looks so much quicker this season than he did last year.
And again, such a veteran. Good read there, stretched it out, did a good job.
Done a lot of work in the weight room. He can squat 365 pounds. Had 13 tackles for loss last year.
Big early down right here for the Marian Knights and the St. Joe Indians.
3rd and 4. They'll give it to Brock again. And Brock is wrestled down at the line of scrimmage. It'll be a 3 and out again for the defense. And look who's there again, number 51, Casey Connery.
Well, again, in a game like this, it's being played close to the vest between the 35-yard lines. You just don't want to risk a mistake. But I got to feel that Mitchell Nagy thinks that maybe he could pick up a first down on 3rd and 5, but Marian's got the wind at their back. We'll see.
Connery should be sponsored by Transpo because he makes that many stops. And a false start called against Marian. We'll march him back 5 yards.
Marian's 2nd penalty now, 10 yards and penalties on the night. St. Joe had those 2 penalties at the end of the first half, so it skews those numbers a little bit.
Take a look at Brian Witten on that St. Joe sideline. A Penn grad, also went to Earlham. He was the defensive coordinator here at St. Joe in Ben Downey's final season. Renner hangs this punt up there, and Noah Hickey's going to come over and play it on the hop at his 36. Hickey juking and jiving, but only got about 5 or 6 yards on the return before he's forced out of bounds at the 41 or 42, but still better field position than St. Joe has had most of the night.
38 yards on the punt. You said, Chuck, about 5 yards on the return.
Boy, they gave a very generous spot up to the 43.
9:33 to go, 3rd quarter. So 2 minutes and 27 seconds. That's about the third longest possession for either team tonight.
Here's Ashton Ruskowski at quarterback. 50% passer on the year coming in. Had a very strong summer playing 7-on-7. He's going to hand it off to J.P. Lewis here. And Lewis breaking through some tackles and running with some purpose up to the 49-yard line. A pickup of 6. But that's one of the more aggressive runs we've seen from either side tonight.
9 yards for Lewis tonight, rushing the football. Folks, you're interested in improving all areas of your fitness program or sport? Well, join the Strength and Conditioning Center in Mishawaka. That's the Beacon Sports Performance. They offer youth, high school, and adult performance training. Visit the website at beaconhealthandfitness.org. Do it today.
Driscoll, the lone back next to Ruskowski. And it's John Driscoll darting and dashing his way up the field into Marian territory to the 48.5. Well, make it the 48-yard line. He's going to be a yard short of the first down.
Boy, and I thought he had a lot of momentum again, Chuck, as he headed up the field, and he got spun backwards.
Driscoll ran for 652 yards last season. He's also a member of Coach Mike McCarthy's track team here at St. Joe.
Driscoll now with 6 carries tonight, 26 yards.
3rd and 1. Ruskowski keeps it himself on the quarterback sneak, has the first down and much more up to the Marian 42. And again, great drive that time by the Indian quarterback. Watch the legs just keep on churning as you take another look on the Bethel College admission replay.
Marian was kind of surprised that he got loose. I don't know if they were looking for Driscoll to carry the ball.
Finally, Michael Gibson brought him down. St. Joe with some of its deepest penetration into Marian territory of the night. Driscoll stood up at the line of scrimmage. C.J. Jaguva came up and made the hit from the linebacker spot. Jaguva has been very aggressive at the linebacker slot this evening.
Folks, it's a great time to be at Marian Night. Last year, Marian High School was rated #1 in Michiana for college preparedness. Marian offers 32 different dual credit classes in collaboration with local colleges and universities. Students have college credits to begin their college careers, and parents save on the cost of college tuition. Find out more at marianhighschool.org.
So on 2nd and 10, 2 receivers off to the right of Ashton Ruskowski, who works from the shotgun. Ruskowski, quarterback draw.
I like it.
So does he. He's got a first down. 11-yard pickup for the St. Joe quarterback. He showed some running ability last year in the sectional. He ran for 116 in their win over Hobart. And this, a design QB draw. He got some great blocking up front from Joey Gillis.
Nice job of pulling a guard, kicking out. Look at the wall in there by Gillis. Man, that's good execution. That's what Coach was talking about at halftime.
1st and 10 from the Marian 31. Handoff off a high snap. Driscoll tripped up at the 16. Thomas Ewing tripped him up and saved the touchdown.
Going to mark him right about the 16-yard line. Gain of 15 yards.
Watch it again. Again, terrific blocking, and it was only Ewing falling on that ankle of Driscoll that kept him from going to the pay dirt.
The White Dogs are executing well.
Lewis, again, a great cut, and he takes it up to the 11-yard line, pickup of 5. And I don't know if it's because St. Joe practices on this field turf, but they are making some cuts here on runs tonight that we're not seeing from the Marian backs.
Keep in mind that St. Joe will have the wind, whatever the wind is at this point. It's kind of dying down a little bit, but they'll have it. They're back in the 4th quarter.
2nd and 5. 2 receivers to the left of Ruskowski, but they have kept it on the ground in this drive, and they'll do it again. Big hole. Driscoll fumbles into the end zone. It's recovered by St. Joe for a touchdown. John Driscoll fumbled. Patrick Driscoll recovers. And the Driscoll brothers get St. Joe on the board. It's sponsored by State Farm agent Ryan Soutsley. You get another look courtesy of Bethel College. The hit definitely stripped the ball out, but he ain't heavy, he's my brother. And Patrick Driscoll comes over and rescues Johnny on that play.
And if that ball goes out the end zone, that whole drive was for naught.
Huge extra point here from Patrick Oliva. The snap is clean, the kick is up, and it is good. 5:27 to go in the third quarter, and we finally have some points on the scoreboard in the Holy War as the Driscoll brothers combine to put St. Joe in front 7-0 on the 46 game of the week. This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week is brought to you in part by J.D. Macri Orthodontics. Trust your smile to an expert.
Got to give a big shout out to Hacienda Mexican Restaurants for supporting high school athletics and feeding our crew tonight. It's football season, and Hacienda is a great place to watch any game. Bring your friends in for their famous ranch and wet burritos. Hacienda's 100 Center has been serving the community for over 40 years and wants to thank you for your continued support.
So Patrick Oliva will kick it off as you look at that touchdown play one more time from ground level. Oliva put the opening kickoff of the second half into the end zone, and he hit this one with a howitzer. That one will go into the end zone as well. We have some gifted kickers in northern Indiana. We saw a bunch of them last year, and there are some more in the ranks this season.
Certainly are. Chuck, it's amazing how close this game has been in all the statistical categories. If St. Joe had fumbled that ball out of the end zone, turnovers would have been even at 1 apiece. Yardage would have been just about the same, and the score would have been 0-0. But the Indians, excellent drive, by the way. That drive was 57 yards in 8 plays, 3 first downs, and it took 4:06 off the third quarter clock.
And it was all on the ground. So now Marian has to try to answer. St. Joe jumping at the line of scrimmage, and it may have cost him 5.
Not a bad way to start a drive.
So encroachment against St. Joe, and it'll be 1st and 5.
Folks, you can visit the Marian High School Open House on Sunday, November 11th from 2 to 4 p.m. Take a tour, meet the teachers, and preview the curriculum. Bring the whole family. It's a great time to be a Marian Knight. Find out more at marianhighschool.org.
High formation for Marian. Oh, they run into each other, and Nagy winds up hanging on to the football. I think there was a false start that time on Marian, and that's why Nagy and DeBow ran into each other, and Nagy looks a little worse for wear as he hobbles back to the huddle. You get another copy of it courtesy of Bethel College Admissions. DeBow got about a 1-second head start on everybody else. So the 5-yard St. Joe gave with encroachment. The Knights give back. A night of Catholic charities.
Not late yet in this ball game, 7-0 St. Joe, but well, I tell you what, Mitchell Nagy has been impressive. We saw him in practice, saw him last year when he was sitting out throwing the football. He's an impressive athlete. Might have to take the wraps off of him a little bit here in the second half.
Well, they're going to let him throw right here. But it's too far for Mitchell Florin. And it'll be 2nd and 10. Trevor Jehaki had the coverage that time.
Thor Industries loves this time of year because team pride is on full display. That team culture from Friday Night Sidelines extends to our Thor Industries team. Build your future right here in Elkhart with one of Thor's excellent career opportunities. Get started today at thorindustries.com.
St. Joe showing blitz. Nagy hands off to his fullback, and DeBow, I think he may have changed that call at the line of scrimmage, and it was a good change because DeBow wound up picking up 9 on the play. Nagy saw a blitz coming, and I think he made an adjustment that time and decided to give it to DeBow, who nearly ran right by all the blitzers. You get another look here from Bethel College admissions.
Brings up 3rd and 1.
Agree with you, partner. I think that was an audible.
So 3rd and 1, and now Nagy keeps it himself, and he's got the first down up to the 31. Sponsored by McDonald Physical Therapy.
Gain of 2, and that'll be a Marian first down.
It's a big first down. Marian needs to try to answer back right here.
You take a look at J.P. Lewis, named John Paul, as, well, many Catholic children were in the first part of the 21st century. First and 10 from the 31. Again, St. Joe showing blitz. And again, DeBow gets the handoff, but this time he did not fool anyone. Kenzel Kelly came over and wrapped him up for the stop. The son of the Irish head coach Brian Kelly, 6 feet, 235, and a junior.
Kelly and Heaston hit him in the backfield.
Interesting story about how he got his name.
Loss of 1.
His great-grandparents, coming over from Ireland, saw the Passion Play in the streets of New York, directed by a Father Kenzel. They loved the name, and so it has been a family name. Well, his mom, Pocky, did not like the name, and Brian Kelly's dad bribed Pocky with a house on the Cape to name him Kenzel.
That'll work.
Here's Brock for a 2-yard run. He's brought down by Jihaki again, as you get another copy courtesy of Bethel College admissions. Lewis was also over there to make the tackle.
Boy, there's some popping going on tonight on Friday night. Folks, if you're in from out of town to watch Notre Dame and Michigan tomorrow night, maybe you're flipping channels and found our game, this is a great rivalry here in Northern Indiana.
Quite frankly, we expect a defensive battle in that game tomorrow night, too. Here's Brock. Tried to elude tacklers, couldn't. Stoned by Leonard after a pickup of 1. 4th down, and it looks like the Knights will have to punt it away again.
Laura Dennison, Health Markets agent, serves clients in Northern Indiana and Southwest Michigan for health, life, and Medicare. Let Laura Dennison help you with your insurance needs. Call her at 574-360-5765. That number again is 574-360-5765, or visit lauradennison.net.
And she sponsors all the Marian punts tonight, including this one by Hunter Renner that goes deep. And Hickey has to make the fair catch and lost it. And Marian recovers at the St. Joe 13. Big time recovery for Marian, and they've got it courtesy of Esau Gonzalez at the St. Joe 13. Hickey tried to keep that one from rolling ever deeper into territory, but he tumbled and then fumbled.
Big break in this ball game for the Marian Knights. And again, Chuck, the punt was outstanding, 47 yards with the wind, and that's a big factor. It's been a factor in the special teams all night.
So here's Marian with a chance to cash in from the St. Joe 13, but they've got to take a timeout. There's some confusion as they come onto the field. The timeout sponsored by Intech RV. 2:04 to go, 3rd quarter.
Imagineering Finishing Technologies is an Indiana company that impacts industries worldwide. Over half a century of quality and excellence has made us the industry knowledge source. We support the efforts of the young people in this game tonight. We're working toward the same goal they are, and that is a great finish.
We mentioned Notre Dame, Michigan tomorrow night. Also tomorrow night, Indiana opens up its college football season on 103.1 FM as the Hoosiers go down to Miami and take on Florida International. Peyton Ramsey will start at quarterback for Tom Allen's squad. Can they come away with an opening night win? Find out on 103.1 FM Saturday night at 7.
How about those Purdue Boilermakers last night? They came up short, but Boy, is that going to be an exciting team, and you can follow them on our stations as well, the Purdue Boilermakers.
Rondale Moore put on a show in his freshman debut. He set a Purdue record for all-purpose yards in a single game. Here, yards have been tough to come by, but Marian only needs 13 to get it to the end zone. Looking at a 1st and 10 in St. Joe territory following a fumbled punt. Handoff, John Brock, big hole. Brock spins down to the 2-yard line. First down, sponsored by McDonald Physical Therapy. Great kick-out blocking by the Marian offensive line that time. Zach Whitfield had a huge block to spring him.
Good job to get him down. He had a full head of steam, but you got to believe Marian has got just a whole batch of juice inserted in their bloodstream right now with that turnover and a chance to even things up.
1st and goal from the 1. Nagy hands it off, and he did not make it in. Kenzel Kelly came over along with Casey Connery to make the hit. As they stop Tyler DeBow short of the goal line, you get another look on our Bethel College admissions replay.
Kenzel Kelly almost got the handoff. Look at those guys in there battling. 17 really closed in. He had a good idea where they were going with the snap and the handoff.
Loss of 1 on the play. It's 2nd and goal from the 2. Alec Mishler, the big center, leads him up to the line of scrimmage. DeBow, the lone back deep. It's DeBow, submarine by Kelly that time, and he didn't make it in. Kelly had the first hit, and then Connor Radigan finished him off. And Kelly, who had an injured calf muscle earlier this week, is slow to get up, but look at the penetration here.
Oh my.
And he put the helmet right on the football. DeBow was lucky to hang on.
Well, Marian's playing on house money, and they may not get many opportunities like this. They've got to try to go for it here.
Again, DeBow, the deep man. They give it to him. Touchdown, Marian. Tyler DeBow, his 4th of the year. And the Knights are an extra point away from tying this one up with 21 seconds to go in the 3rd.
Well, we're going to have to keep it on the sideline. Maybe Bo Hunt can give us a look or find out about Kenzel Kelly, but I don't think he was in there on that down, and Marian was able to move people around and get in the end zone.
He was not in there on that down. And good surge by the Marian offensive line. Opened up a nice hole that time. Miguel Ortiz led the way. Bad snap. Ball still loose. And St. Joe is brought down at the 40-yard line. And the Indians lead it 7-6. Here's another copy, courtesy of Bethel College admissions. The snap rolled right through the hands of Maddox Begonia, and then it was like trying to catch a greased pig at the fair. Klima came up with the recovery and got yanked down from behind.
Got to go with a bad snap there. Ground ball, tough for the holder to pick up, but Marian's on the board at 7-6.
So a 1-point lead, and boy, have special teams been huge in this game in a variety of ways. Blocked punts, muffed punts, and now a bad snap. And we still have a quarter to go.
13 yards for Marian, 4 plays, 1:35 off the clock to get the touchdown. Renner got the wind at his back. This will be big right here.
There you see Hunter Renner, keeper on the Marian soccer team. On the approach. Line drive kick that'll roll down into the end zone for the touchback. So Renner's second touchback of the night, his 7th of the season. And St. Joe will take over 1st and 10 at its own 20 with 21 seconds left to go in the 3rd.
Marian's scoring drive actually started at the 13 after the mishandled punt, but Marian actually possessed the ball for 5:21 at the end of that third quarter to get those 6 points. Now they got to have a stop and a chance. Who knows, Chuck? St. Joe wanted to win it. They're back in the fourth quarter. Could be a tough night to kick a field goal going the other way if Marian needs that to win the game.
Ruskowski from the shotgun. Young man with a very strong faith. Out of Corpus Christi grade school, hands it off. John Driscoll nowhere to go. He was knotted up in the backfield. Terrific job that time by Paul Klein, the defensive end. And that'll do it for the third quarter of play from Father Bly Field in South Bend. After the defenses completely dominated the first half, the offenses finally got a chance to shine in the third quarter. John Driscoll's fumble recovered by his brother Patrick, but then a fumble led to a Marian touchdown. Tyler DeBow took it on in from a couple yards out. It's 7-6 St. Joe as we go to the fourth in the Holy War on 46. Friends, this edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week brought to you by Imagineering Finishing Technologies. The teams in this game working towards a great finish, and so is the team from IFT, because at IFT, quality is a way of life. Chuck Freeby, Bob Nagel, third member of our crew down on the sidelines. Bo Hunt with the Bills Heating Sideline Report. Bo, what made the difference in the third quarter? Why were the offenses finally able to have some success?
Well, a lot of it had to do with the offensive line this time around the third quarter, especially for St. Joe. St. Joe was able to really get on their blocks and stay on them. They weren't able to do that in the first quarter. It opened up some room, some lanes for their running backs, and the running backs were able to hit those holes, make some cut, and really pick up some yards. They were able to really drive the ball down and sustain that drive where they scored that touchdown. Marian, on the other hand, they need to get something going on this drive as well. They did a great job of capitalizing on the muff punt down there. I have a feeling it's going to come down to the kicking game. 3 missed kicks, a muff punt, a block punt. It's going to come down to that kicking game, guys.
And Ruskowski to Connor Radigan for a St. Joe first down, their biggest passing play of the night. Radigan steps out of bounds at the 33-yard line. Or no, they'll spot it. Yes, they spot it back at the 33. It's still a first down for St. Joe on a 13-yard pickup. And this quarter brought to you by Knights of Columbus Insurance Advisor Andrew Weiss. Discover the Catholic difference. First and 10 at the 33 as you look into the eyes of the quarterback, Ashton Ruskowski. He'll hand it off here. And again, not a whole lot of running room for John Driscoll. He picked up 2 on the play. Zach Whitfield in on the stop that time. Whitfield, the all-NIC linebacker, is a sophomore and junior. One of a number of Whitfields who have played in this game or even coached in it like his dad did.
43 yards on 10 carries tonight for Driscoll. Got 2 yards on that carry.
2nd and 8. St. Joe with a 1-point lead here in the fourth. They have lost 4 straight to their parochial school rivals. Whitfield coming on a blitz. Ruskowski ball tipped, and it manages to elude the outstretched hands of Michael Schnippel, the Marian defender. There's a flag on the play, and it's against St. Joe.
Marian was sending some people in the gaps. Could be a hold.
It's going to be an ineligible receiver downfield for St. Joe.
While they discuss it, we'll tell you that since 1882, the Knights of Columbus have been protecting Catholic families and promoting Catholic values through their insurance and financial programs. They donate their profits to charity and vow never to make investments that run contrary to church teaching. To learn more, call Andrew Weiss. His number is 574-272-6929, or look for him in the back of your parish bulletin. That's Andrew Weiss with Knights of Columbus Insurance.
Marian accepts the 5-yard penalty, so it'll be 2nd and 13 for St. Joe back at its own 30. And again, the Knights showing blitz, but now they drop out of it. Ruskowski throws into the flat and has John Driscoll He cannot elude everybody, and the hit finally made by Paul Klein at the 35-yard line. So Klein on consecutive plays tips a pass and then comes up with the finishing hit as you watch Driscoll again bounce off defenders before Klein says no more. Now St. Joe looking at a 3rd and 8. Noah Hickey comes in with the play from the sidelines. Hickey had a big receiving night in St. Joe's scrimmage against Memorial, but he has not caught a pass yet this year. Roskowski looking his way, but now flush from the pocket and will run it. And Roskowski slides at the 43. Did he get the first down? Depends on the spot.
Going to be awful close.
They're marking it at the 42. That's a yard short.
Gain of 7 brings up 4th and 1.
Driscoll was trying to avoid getting hammered.
His knee did touch at the 42, so that's a good call.
Yep.
So 4th and 1. Roskowski, quarterback keeper, and I think he got it. Line judges are coming in just past the 43-yard line, and that would be good enough for a St. Joe first down.
Gutty call right there, partner.
In fact, they'll spot this all the way up to the 44-yard line. That's definitely a St. Joe first down. And again, the running back pushing from behind may have helped on that one.
20 yards for Roskowski rushing tonight. And a lot of them have been on those big short yardage situations.
The other thing for St. Joe here, they continue to play keep away. Whistles blown, flags thrown, false start on the try, but it'll cost them 5.
40 yards in penalties tonight for St. Joe. Marian with 15. Keep in mind that the 30-yard difference was at the end of the first half. Folks committed to excellence in serving the community for 29 years, McDonald Physical Therapy and Sports Rehabilitation Center services a wide range of their patients. They specialize in altered G treadmill use, ASTIM treatment, and brand new blood flow restriction therapy. No doctor referral is needed. McDonald Physical Therapy, where they treat patients like family.
1st and 15. Roskowski fires into the flat. Radigan with the catch, brought down immediately by Jacob Lyle, who has played a fantastic game at cornerback tonight.
You like the opportunity to get the ball out to good receiver like Radigan, but you need for him to get a step, and he wasn't able to.
Radigan has had a lot of catches tonight. I think that's maybe his 5th grab, but none of them have been able to break open. Connor, an outstanding young man, basketball player, wants to be a pediatric oncologist someday.
Wow. Thought maybe he wanted to be a doc like his daddy.
Roskowski to Noah Hickey, his first catch of the season. Hickey gets to the 49-yard line, setting up St. Joe with a 3rd and manageable. Hey, it's always nice when people check in watching on Facebook Live. Andrew Weiss, who's sponsoring our broadcast tonight with Knights of Columbus Insurance, wants to remind people his number is 574-274-2740. That's 574-274-2740.
8 of 16 on the night now for Roskowski. Another big play in this game. That time in the 4th quarter is slipping through the hourglass for the Marian Knights.
And the handoff up the middle and only getting to about the midfield stripe. They had to get to the Marian 46. So St. Joe looking at a 4th and 4, and they'll punt it away.
4th and 4. Ortiz on the stop.
Lewis with 16 yards rushing, 43 yards rushing tonight for Driscoll. 20 for Roskowski.
Two defenders back deep for Marian on the punt as Oliva gets this one away. high kick that'll hit at the 19. There's a flag down on the play. Gibson makes the pickup and then pays the price at the 14, but we'll have to see what the flag is all about.
Like the flag came after the transition, so we'll see what the flag call is. I want to remind you that Kineski Funeral Home is a proud sponsor of high school athletics. At Kineski Funeral Home, they're grateful and blessed to be able to continue your great-grandfather's legacy of caring for the community over the past 9 decades. We are fathers and sons, sisters and brothers, cousins, nieces, nephews, grandchildren, and yes, even son-in-law working together for you. At Kineski Funeral Home, family really is the most important thing, not just ours, but yours. Kineski Funeral Home, proud sponsor of high school athletics.
Illegal use of the hands will be marked off. We'll see where Marian starts this drive when we come back. 6:51 to go. The Indians lead by 1 on 46. This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week is brought to you by Bill's Heating, keeping families and businesses comfortable since 1951. So the officials still walking off the penalty. And it's half the distance from the spot. It happened at the 10, so that takes it back to the Marian 5 with 6:51 to go, and the Knights trailing by 1. Mitchell Nagy goes to work at quarterback. Hands it off. John Brock eludes one tackler and gets to the outside. Brock with a big first down run out to the 18-yard line. A pickup of 13 on the play. It's sponsored by McDonald Physical Therapy. That was huge, getting Marian out of the hole right there.
61 yards rushing for Brock tonight, and they really needed a gut check right there for the Marian Knights to get out of that hole. You got time. You got 6:33 to go, but you do have to go down, and not likely you're going to get the ball back if St. Joe can get a stop.
And you have to put together the kind of drive that, quite frankly, Marian has not put together tonight. It's Brock on the handoff again, and he gets up to about the 20-yard line. Only a pickup of 2 on the play. And there's Casey Connery on the stop one more time. And he had help from Jalen Knapp-Petty.
Intech RV, the industry leader in lightweight teardrop and adventure trailers, allowing your family to enjoy time together in the great outdoors. Find out more at intechrv.com. And a big shout out to Marian Knights' Michael Schnippel, number 9. Best of luck on a great season.
From the 20. Tailback one more time, and Tyler DeBow finding the sledding really tough in there right now. Joey Gillis makes the stop that time. Gillis, the senior who had a key fumble recovery against Riley in the sectional last year, makes a nice stop.
St. Joe continues to adjust to what Marian wants to do offensively, and right now the Knights have been struggling. We got an injured player on the field.
Well, one thing that St. Joe has been able to do is they go out and look at the injured player laying flat on his back right now. And so Brian Witten chases the rest of his team away. And while they take a look at the injured player, and we can't really make out from our angle who it is right now, we'll just comment that for folks watching this game, there's a lot of Notre Dame connections in this game tonight. Casey Connery walking off the field. You got Kenzel Kelly, we told you about his dad being the head coach. Mark Heestand, well, his dad's the former offensive line coach. And Connor Radigan, the name Radigan sounds familiar. Yeah, Brian made a few tackles at Notre Dame during his time, so we did ask the question, can they get us tickets?
Number 51 comes out for St. Joe.
Casey Connery.
And that is a tough situation for him to come out. He might be cramping up, it looks like. A night like this, that doesn't surprise too much.
Two-way player, so that's about the only time he's been off the field tonight. Key 3rd and 8 here for Marian with the clock running. Nagy from the shotgun. Steps up, fires deep down the field, nobody there.
Nagy's pass is incomplete.
It'll be 4th down, and you would think the Knights will have to punt it away here.
Well, they've got a decision to make.
Brings up 4th and 8.
Folks, get to a better state by visiting your State Farm agent, Ryan Sousley. Stop by his office located at 2029 North Cedar in Mishawaka, just north of Jordan Ford. Like a good neighbor, State Farm agent Ryan Sousley is there. Call today, 574-257-8220.
Hunter Renner unloads the kick. Noah Hickey will come over, this time making the fair catch at the 43-yard line. And so now the St. Joe Indians will try to play keep away for 4 minutes and 59 seconds. And if they do, they'll snap a 4-game losing streak to their arch rivals.
Not a lot of imagination in that offensive set for Marian when the game was pretty much on the line. I guess I'm a little disappointed. Thought they would make a better effort. They had a good first play on that drive. But St. Joe, boy, they came up with some big answers again. They have been tough defensively.
So 1st and 10 from the 43, handoff to Driscoll. And Driscoll trying to secure the football and elude tacklers. Well, he was at least able to secure the football, but Miguel Ortiz brings him down after about a 3-yard gain.
Hey, Marian Nation, you're invited to attend the dedication of the 14 oak animal carvings at Potawatomi Park on September 27th at 3:30 p.m. Each oak carving is between 14 and 40 feet tall. Be part of the celebration in honor of Robert F. Goodchild. Go Knights.
St. Joe taking its time getting the play in from the sideline. Roskowski will try to bleed the play clock as much as he can. It's already under 10. Handoff Driscoll. Again, stood up at the line of scrimmage, maybe picked up a yard. That's about it. And it'll be 3rd down. The clock ticking under 4 minutes on the Thor Industries scoreboard.
44 yards tonight, 12 carries for Driscoll.
Marian with 2 timeouts remaining. Remember, they used one after the fumbled punt by St. Joe. Key 3rd and 6 here for Ashton Roskowski and company. Roskowski rolls out, but he's going to run it himself. And Roskowski with a first down. And he knows that's another 2 minutes off the clock if they hang on to the football.
Boy, Marian had him back in the backfield. Look at the depth, the pursuit, just couldn't hang on.
Whitfield finally brought him down, but there were many others who had the opportunity and couldn't do it. And again, he bleeds the play clock under 10. Handoff, Driscoll trying to fight for extra yardage, but he's really got to make sure he secures the football because Marian's going to be trying to strip him at every occasion. Traylon Markham on the tackle. He's had a wonderful game at defensive tackle tonight.
Folks, if you're looking for an exciting career in broadcasting, WHME, TV 46, and Pulse FM are hiring. Send your resume today to salesmanager@pulsefm.com. Our award-winning Pulse FM staff.
Corey Mann in the house tonight. Blue ribbon or gold ribbon or silver medalist DJ, we're not sure which.
Just slipped me $4 to mention that.
2nd and 10. Roskowski on the quarterback keeper. He hangs on tight, taking it to the Marian 44. Pickup of 2 on the play. And you start to wonder when Michael Davidson might use those timeouts. We're under 2 minutes to play in the Holy War, and St. Joe with a 7-6 lead.
Head coach Ryan Witten hoping against hope that this team can start out the season 3-0.
Patrick Oliva brings the play in from the sidelines. Last time, Roskowski rolled out and then scrambled for the first down. What will they try here on 3rd and 8? It's a quarterback keeper right up the middle, and Marian was waiting for him. And now Michael Davidson will use one of those timeouts with 1:27 remaining. We will take it as well. 1:27 left in this big rivalry. St. Joe with a 7-6 lead, getting ready to probably punt it away on 4th down on 46. And friends, this edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week is brought to you by the Indiana High School Athletic Association, partnering with TV 46 for 28 years. Chuck Freeby, Bob Nagel, Bo Hutt back with you in South Bend. The crowd looking on. Full house on hand here at Father Bly Field tonight. A minute 27 to go in this one, and St. Joe up 7-6.
A lot of big defensive efforts going on in the area tonight. At the end of the first quarter, it's Andrean 7, New Prairie 0.
When was the last time New Prairie had a scoreless quarter? Well, they might have had some scoreless fourth quarters calling off the Dogs, but they haven't had any scoreless first. So low-scoring games have been the order of the night. Michael Davidson got a pump block from his special teams earlier tonight. He could sure use one right here. Maddox Begonia is the deep man, and Marian will put 9 at the line of scrimmage to try to chase down the Patrick Oliva punt. Oliva got rid of it in a hurry and got it out of there. It'll roll, and it's going to roll dead at about the 9-yard line. A minute 17 to go. Now, Marian does not need a touchdown. They do need a field goal. And they got to march a long way to get into range for Hunter Runner.
1:17 to go. Another great page being added to the Holy War Encyclopedia. Man.
You have to think that Marian is going to rely on Mitchell Nagy to air it out right here.
Got a timeout left. You got chance to maybe get 2 or 3 completions.
Nagy just 4 of 11 throwing the football tonight. He steps into this one, throws it down the field. It is intercepted. Noah Hickey. And St. Joe appears to have put the final nail in this one to win the Holy War.
Chuck, you mentioned that Hickey only had 1 interception on the season. Make it 2, and this one's against the opposition. What a big, big play for St. Joe.
And they're going nuts in the St. Joe student body as you get another look from Bethel College admissions. Hickey, the all-conference quarterback, just went up and out-jumped Mitchell Florin for the ball.
A couple of number 4s doing battle out there.
So Marian, which won the first 5 in the series between the two schools back in the late 60s and early 70s, and then had a 4-game win streak coming into this one. Last year's St. Joe seniors had to graduate never having beaten Marian in football. This year's seniors did not want to have that same feeling, and they'll go into victory formation knowing Marian only has 1 timeout remaining. And the Tribe faithful come to their feet. It'll be the first time in a long time that their team has been 3-0 to start the year.
15 carries by the time this one gets over for St. Joe quarterback Ashton Ruskowski. 15 carries for 22 yards.
But some of them were for some big first downs.
Big 1-yard runs, and right now, Father Bly says, please kneel, young man.
He'll be saying that in about 27 seconds to all of them. It's one of the beautiful things about this rivalry. The two teams get together afterwards after going tooth and nail as they have for the last 48 minutes, and they'll get together in prayer. But in terms of football tonight, it's a night for the Columbia Blue of St. Joe. Ashton Ruskowski and the Indians celebrate a 7-6 win over their arch rival, the Marian Knights. And when we come back, we'll have all of our post-game features and our player of the game next on 46.
Watching the WHME TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week. Brought to you by
Our postgame show brought to you by St. Joe High, building faith, character, and excellence since 1953. St. Joseph High School prepares students for college and careers with programs like Project Lead the Way, where students solve real-world problems through hands-on learning in engineering and biomedical science. Discover more at stjohigh.com. Chuck Freeby and Bob Nagel as the fans file out to the parking lot, but the ones in Columbia blue and black will probably take their time tonight because they have something to celebrate for the first time in 5 years, a victory over their arch rival, the Marian Knights, by a count of 7-6. Partner, we always expect an intense affair with this one. We got what we expect.
Early on, it looked like we might be reliving the 2-0 game back in 71. Turns out it was a one-point game. Just like last year, Marian wins by 1, St. Joe wins by 1 this year. A lot of big plays in the game for only having 13 points on the board. I'm talking about a touchdown that's finishes off with a fumble recovery in the end zone. That was big. Blocking a field goal, blocking a punt, good return yardage, a couple long pass plays. Both teams gave it everything they had. Both teams will sleep really well tonight, but they gave us what we wanted, and that's a classic football game.
Well, we had two players we featured in the starting lineups tonight, and they are the two players that we're featuring in the postgame show. Our IU South Bend fulfilling the promise players of the game are standing by now with Bo Hunt.
Standing by with the victorious Indians, your first victory in 5 years. What does it feel like? Ashton, starting with you.
I don't have words to describe this right now. This is something we've worked for all our lives in the past 4 years. And seeing the senior class last year not being able to beat Marian was something we all took very personal, and it's hurt us since. So words can't really describe the feeling right now.
Ashton Ruskowski, the quarterback, you guys came out in that third quarter, and you guys just pounding the ball. What did Coach talk about at halftime?
Really just relying on our defense and our white dogs, and they came through. Our defense held them to 6 points. When we only score 7, that's how you get the win. The white dogs pushing through and doing their thing as well.
Talking about the defense, Casey Connery. Casey, that defense just stepped up all night. You guys were there. You guys had a tough one last week, held Northridge to 0 points. You guys come out and do it again in the Holy War.
You know, it's amazing. You know, senior leadership out here is awesome. We've been talking about this season since freshman year, and it's finally coming together, and we're stringing things together. It's amazing.
What does it feel like, man? 3-0, win the Holy War. Just what's going through your mind right now?
It's amazing. Just the camaraderie I have with my brothers out here is just amazing, and there's nothing like this. I wouldn't spend it with anybody else.
Casey Connery, Ashton Ruskowski, players of the game. Back to you guys.
Casey Connery sounds like he's ready to take over for the Hulkster in the WWE. He sounded hoarse and tired, and he should be because he was playing on both sides of the ball.
It's one of the great things about high school athletics. You see guys like that. Now, is that guy going to play at the next level, Division I? Is he going to be in there in the Miami game against Florida State? I don't think so. But tonight, it was everything he had to put out there. And I tell you what, a couple things about St. Joe. They really did dedicate themselves to have a great year when they're seniors.
Yeah.
They did dedicate the game tonight to Josh Crudup, who's not able to play, but part of the family, part of the team. And that was pretty emotional all week as they prepared for this game. But, you know, it could have gone either way. But it went St. Joe's way. Congratulations to the Indians.
Crudup had to watch from the press box tonight after suffering a stroke on the field last week. He is going to be okay, and he's going to have a wonderful acting career in Shakespearean theater.
I think he is.
Days at St. Joe are done. We have one more piece of business to take care of, our electrifying play of the game. When you only have 2 touchdowns, one of them probably qualifies. St. Joe talks about their team being a brotherhood. On this scoring play, it was, because it was John Driscoll fumbling and Patrick Driscoll recovering.
And 3 yards from being through the end zone for a touchback and ending their best drive of the night. But the way it worked out, and again, when you got Father Bly and Father Cam Turavasi, they had more priests than Marian out there tonight, I think.
I don't know. I saw a lot of collars tight during this game, and it wasn't just the Roman ones as well.
Right.
So our thanks to the staffs at both St. Joe and Marian for their support in bringing this one to you, as well as all of our fine sponsors, and Holy Cross College, who sponsored our live Facebook stream. A reminder, next Friday night, we have more high school football for you as the Plymouth Rockies visit Middlebury to take on Northridge. But in the shadow of the KeyBank building as it glimmers on the South Bend skyline, we thank our TV46 crew who brought you this one, the bubbly one back in the producer-director chair, Tony Beltran, and our usual cast of passionate men about their work who bring you this fine effort each and every week here on TV46. Don't forget, tomorrow on Pulse FM 103.1, it's Indiana University football. The Hoosiers take on Florida International in the season opener. And then, as we mentioned, next Friday night here on 46, it's high school football as the Plymouth Rockies and the Northridge Raiders collide in Middlebury. And don't forget, every Wednesday on TV46's social media page, we bring you the film room where we break down the plays from this week's game. Now for my broadcast partners, they're Hall of Famers, you know, Bob Nagel, Bo Hunt, Chuck Freeby. Once again, the final. St. Joe wins the Holy War 7-6. So long from South Bend.